life. Yeah. Live life beyond, right? Beyond fears. So, Kashira, what do you have to say when it comes to live life?
When I think of living life, I think the potential, the power, the courage that I have shown to myself in my life in coming out from the life that I was in to the life that I'm living today. And this transformation, it wasn't possible or it wasn't done by anybody else. It was the day I decided for myself that I want this life. And I started focusing on it because, okay, so I talk so many motivational things through my podcast. Few years ago, I was not this person. I was not this person. I was a human, a girl who was always scared of everything, terrified, who used to be scared of speaking to anybody. Public speaking is far off, even having a
Wow.
conversation in one on one.
Yeah.
This girl was terribly scared. Okay. And because of, all the reasons that I said in the beginning of the kind of negative atmosphere that I was one brought up in. So I come from that background and I was always scared of everything. Every time I stepped out of my house, I was always like, okay, there's nobody following me. You have all those negative thoughts most of the times when you're coming from such negative background.
Right.
From that life to hear that now I live on my terms. I live and I do whatever I wish for myself.
Right.
For example, somebody said something to me and I didn't like it the way it was said. Earlier, Kashida would have never voiced it up. But today, I won't let that person go without telling them that that was not right
Right. How did it work
because
for you?
I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did it work for you getting married? Like sometimes it's like the families pick grooms, for the husbands. I mean, so how did that go for you? Did you pick your husband or was your husband picked for you and then you fought back? Did you have any of that going on?
Yeah, well, I would say I was really blessed, and I am really blessed that I got to choose my man.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that's my decision, and we are living a beautiful life together. And the best part, Linda, that I love about you and Ambassador Terry is that chemistry, that bonding that you guys have, and you understand each other at that level. That is a real relationship wherein you don't have to put in unnecessary efforts. You are there because you genuinely want to be there for each other.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I feel truly blessed that whatever I do for my guy and whatever he does for me, we feel for each other. And we have similar kind of expectations. We vibrate at the similar frequency, which is so important.
Yeah.
So important. And we complement each other, which
Yeah.
is very important in life. So whenever we want to have conversation, we'll be like, okay, all right, let's go downstairs, have a cup of coffee and we'll chat. So basically,
Nice.
when you have that kind of a friendship with your own partner,
Yeah.
you don't really feel like, oh, I need to be, out somewhere or I need to have, I need to be meeting with this, because you have that solid bond with your own partner, which is very important. So to your
Yeah.
answer, to your question, I feel really blessed that I was able to choose my man.
That's so cool. Yeah. And Terry will say, I was chosen for him. So he was like, out of money, down on his knees, and life had just flipped on him something fierce, and he just opened himself up, and it's like, okay, I'm just here to receive whatever, and then whoosh, I came right in, and um calls me his health tech. He was about 70 pounds overweight, and he was headed for he was on, I think, 5 meds and headed for 2 more. So I
Mhm.
got him healthy, and he says I got him healthy so he could continue his journey and do what he feels he's supposed to be doing and stuff like that. So it's really fun that way.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
And
beautiful.
yeah, and we were both in what we call them 33-year starter marriages. So he had left his about 5 years before he met me, although he was with someone for 3 years and she wasn't getting the help that she needed. She refused and it was just too much. So he was like, that's it, I'm out of here. And right about that time, I had decided to get divorced. And, I didn't want to be divorced. I wanted to be married. And that one person can't carry a marriage. I mean, they can if
Yeah,
they wanted to, but I was just like, I'm not doing this.
yeah.
I want two people working on this marriage. So yeah, and then all of a sudden, boom, there we were. We we it was Valentine's Day, and
Mhm.
I came into an earth meditation, and he was the only one there. He had set up the chairs, and I sat next to him. We had seen each other at different events, and so it just boom, this coming together. It was so interesting how that worked. And 2.5 weeks later, we were married, and he
Wow.
confessed to me, um, that he's like, when I saw you, I was just like, she's mine. And I'm like, really? And yeah, it was just super interesting. And so then we didn't know each other's triggers. So that got really interesting. And yeah, lots of stories built in there. That's for sure. That's why I wrote my
Yeah.
book, My Walk with Earthwind. Get some of those
Okay.
out into the world. So anyways, back to this every moment. So live life every moment. And in your podcast, Simplifying Life with Kashira, you give lots of tips. So, what are some simple tips for living life every moment?
I'll say to live life. Okay, let me pick it up from here. I was speaking with Dino, about the podcast that we did, and he mentioned one line which still stays with me. And he said that life itself is a goal.
Hmm.
Such powerful line. Okay. We keep thinking that, okay, one day I'll be this, I'll be that, I have to do this. So many goals, so many aspirations. But why don't we focus on our life itself and just make your life better? Your life itself is a goal.
Yeah,
To stay happy, to stay motivated, to stay without fear, or to be confident, whatever positive energies that you want in your life, you have to focus on making your life better.
you get to.
Yeah, and it's like just some small conscious efforts can really make big differences in your life.
Yeah. Unconscious is the word. Like Terry says, presence is the point, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely, staying present is
yeah,
huge. And when
yeah.
we do
And
that,
speaking,
we stay out of them,
yes,
we stay out of story, we stay in healthy detachment, and our emotions
yes,
aren't, even able to like take over our lives, which is really cool because
yes.
emotions are just a choice, as we
Yeah, yeah,
mentioned.
absolutely. And on that, I think I was in process of writing another post wherein I had this similar thought that most of the time we are either in past or in future. What about present?
Yeah,
We just lose our present thinking, oh, what will be my life tomorrow? Whether I'll be able to achieve this, whether I'll be able to achieve that. Oh my God, yesterday was so bad.
yeah,
What about today, dude? What about today?
yeah. Yeah, when
Yeah,
we do that, when living in the past or the present, we also are labeling things and coming from a place of duality. This is good, this is
yeah,
bad. And
yeah,
living in the present moment, everything where everything just is such a beautiful place. And I get more done living in that place from what I call
yeah,
my pleasure list. I don't do goals. I don't Yeah, goals to me are shaming. In special ed, I had to like write goals and objectives and well, and I worked in a psychiatric treatment center. Those kids weren't learning. I just played with them. I wrote the goals, like, but I didn't follow any of them. Goals and objectives. We just played. Then I got pressured about 6 months in, and in the last 3 months of school, uh, when I did step into the academics, they weren't killing each other anymore because they were very violent. Kindergarten, like 5-year-olds through 11-year-olds. Um, and so in 3 months, they weren't learning in their schools. That's why they had ended up at this day treatment center. Um, they went up, all of them went up a year, and one kid went up 3 years. And he was the kid that said, "You're the meanest teacher in the world." And then he came back. They released him from the day treatment center, even. And he came back for a visit, and he had a pin of a teacher holding a globe in her hand. And he goes, "You're not the meanest teacher in the world. You're the
Oh,
best teacher in the universe." I'm like,
oh
this
my
is why
God.
I do what I do. you know, that was so cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, that what
Bless
brought
the child.
face. Speaking of smile often. What brings a smile to your face?
Oh, good food.
Okay, you're one of those. Yep, Terry and I are both foodies. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I actually, you know what? You just picked up the right thing. And me and my husband, we were having this conversation. And I was like, I don't know, somehow, whenever I see good food, I just get like a very different kind of feeling. So for me, food is more like an emotion than just the food. And because of that, there is one problem as well that, for example, you have to rush into any meeting and stuff and you want to just hog your food. I can't do that. So if I am in that busy schedule or a chaotic schedule kind of a day, I'd rather stay hungry and starve, get over with all my schedule, and then sit peacefully with my ambience. Like I like to have a little music, a proper
Oh,
place, proper ambience, and then have my food. So yeah, so that's a problem as well because I can't eat in rush. But yeah, food
uh,
brings
that's
smile on my
interesting.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for you, because food is pleasure and relaxation, it then would be raising your serotonin levels, and serotonin says it's enough. And on the flip, it's like when food, the way you look at food is almost the opposite of how you look at it, then it's raising dopamine levels. It's not enough. It's never enough. And people get in trouble with their weight that way. So it's interesting. I love it. That
Yeah,
slowing down
that's
and enjoying your food and creating the atmosphere is brilliant, Kashira. Thank you.